welcome on board. And okay, good afternoon, everybody out there. Okay, welcome to another session of City Music Live, where we bring you great music, interview, and awesome guests. All right, so thank you for tuning in. And today is going to be a very interesting session because we have a group of very special guests. And okay, so before we start, just a little bit of introduction for those who join us for the first time. Okay, today we are live streaming from Singapore, City Music, our Facebook City Music, and also Malaysia. So that's our subsidiary in Malaysia, CK Music. So please like and share, bring in your friends, and we're going to have a very nice, interesting musical session later on. And of course, our friends in Malaysia are going through MCO now. So let's hope everybody is safe and sound over there. And since you guys are all going to be locked at home in Malaysia, so I think is not all. I think it's certain states. We hear from the news, and so I guess it's perfect opportunity for us today to learn from these gurus here to make some music at home. Right? Let's work at home, create at home, play at home. Okay, so today's main focus would be Ableton. So we do understand from earlier on from Ben and Syafiq that we do have a Ableton user group, official Ableton user group for Singapore, and of course many different regions. So we could not, because of the COVID-19, the meeting has sort of been challenged. Yeah. Right, so I think when we had this discussion to hold us, turn it into an online meeting, why not? And I think it's also perfect opportunity for you guys to bring in, give us a sneak preview of what everybody is actually anticipating. For those who are already using Ableton 10, and 11 is coming. When, you know? Anybody's
I have no
guess. No, anybody's guess. Okay, and so today our audience will be first time ever having our officially certified Ableton trainers from Singapore and Indonesia to run us through all the new features, all the exciting stuff that Ableton 11 is going to be offering to us. So let's, before I pass on the show to the main gurus today, let me just take a little bit of time to introduce our Ableton Titans today. Okay, as mentioned, they are our only officially certified Ableton trainers, right, in Singapore and Malaysia. So let's start with Singapore first. Ben Ang, on my right here. A round of applause. Okay, Ben Ang, Ben Ang is an electronic musician. Okay, don't mind me, I got to read from the script because it's really a handful of things to really talk about all these trainers here, right? Electronic musician, one half of synth pop remix duo Cosmic Armchair, which many of us know, this amazing group that have brought lots of music, nice tunes and EDM music. He's a music production instructor, principal tutor at Electronic Music Lab, or known as EML at NUS, National University of Singapore. He teaches electronic music production and performance with Ableton Live, Ableton Push, and Max for Live. So through his teaching career, Ben has helped thousands of students on their electronic music journeys, many of whom have gone on to release their own music and launch professional music careers in Singapore and beyond. He is a published recording artist himself, as being as producer behind Singapore-based duo Cosmic Armchair, who are signed on to European record label Alpha Matrix. That's something. All right, so a round of applause for Ben. Woo! Ooh. Actually, we should have the clapping sound. Okay. Okay, anyway, our crew, Jace, who's managing our live stream behind, is wearing multiple hats, very busy now. Okay, so our next guest, which is also Ableton Certified Trainer in Singapore, Syafiq Halid, or known as Syafiq.
Yes.
Sound designer, electronic artist, and the first and youngest Ableton Certified Trainer based in Singapore. Man. No more youngest. Okay, after successfully passing the Ableton Certified Training program in Hong Kong, he launched Great Culture to share your experience in life with like-minded individuals and promote music technology as a creative tool. With a passion for exploring and experimenting with various sound elements to create unique sonic experiences, Syafiq has immersed himself in a wide variety of performances and projects. These projects include collaboration with Boomy Collective as a sound designer for M1 Singapore Fringe Festival 2020, and a poetry and sound performance Alchema by Moongazers at the Art Science Museum. Wow, these are all big, big, big stuff, huh? Anyway, Ben and Syafiq, if you have been following our Facebook and live streams, they have actually appeared in our one of our live stream performances last year, together with another Ableton user, K, and they actually had a very nice, amazing live session with Ableton live with live. Okay, that's a mouthful here. So right in this corner actually, and if you do have do check out in our past stream, and you can actually see their amazing performance. Our next guest, which Ben and Syafiq will bring on later, is Lawrence. Lawrence Phillip is an award-winning producer, DJ, sound designer, and educator based in Jakarta, Indonesia. Okay, Lawrence has released music under various different aliases since 2000 and has worked with some of the Indonesia's top artists, including Marcel, Aura Kase, Vicky Shu, Kripik Pridus, United by Haircuts, and Yako. His work with Yako has netted him AMI awards. That's the Indonesian equivalent to Grammys. Wow. Whew. Okay, nomination and best dance track at Indonesia's Paranoia Award. Lawrence is also part of Java-based sound system, a pioneering drum and bass collective from Jakarta, Indonesia. Lawrence started teaching sound design for film and television at SAE Indonesia in 2014 and took over its electronic music production program in 2015. His expertise includes sound design, synthesis, sampling, live performance, arrangement, advanced production, and other related subjects. He is currently the lead instructor for the electronic music production and also the first and only Ableton Certified Trainer in Indonesia. He currently performs and releases music as Lawrence Phillip and his other alias Random. Whew. Let's take a breath. That's a
That's
a
a really long intro, guys.
Okay.
Thankful
Well,
to Ying.
so before I actually pass on the show to because I'm not the main show, I'm not the main star of the show at all. So I'm just here to sneak in and do a little bit of introduction. We also will be having Ableton promotion right now. Do check out our website, citymusic.com.sg if you're in Singapore, CK Music if you're in Malaysia. We're having 20% off Ableton 10 and free upgrade to Ableton 11 when it's available. You want to know when it's available? You got access to, guys. Okay, check out our website. All right. So if you're thinking of getting the next Ableton Push 2 or any of the Ableton software, do check out our website. Now's the time to get, because even if Ableton 11 is not released yet, you're gonna get it. And plus, you buy 20% off Ableton 10 right now, so you're gonna get a free upgrade.
Basically, if you buy Live 10 now, you will get 11 for sure. Yeah.
Yep. Guaranteed. So I think without further ado, okay, so how are you guys, Ben and
Great.
Syafiq?
Thanks so much, Ying Long.
Welcome back to our show.
Thank you very much for having us here. We're really glad to
We
be
are
here.
so honored to have Ableton Titans today.
Wow, Titans is a very big thing to live up to, man.
Huge name.
And thanks so much for having us here. We are very grateful to you and to City Music for hosting us. And we had really been, as you said, the Ableton User Group Singapore had been a bit homeless since so many venues have closed. And also because of all the restrictions, it's difficult to meet. But we're very grateful that City Music has such a great setup for live streaming and so generous in letting us use your space
Definitely.
and your resources and your skilled people like Jace, yourself to introduce. So thanks so much.
Just one question before I leave you guys. I've always been wondering, being a certified Ableton trainer, what's it like? Is it like more difficult than A levels, university?
I want Ben to answer this. He got a perfect definition of how rigorous and tough the process is or was. So I wanna Ben, go ahead, man. Check this out.
You're asking me to do that because you saw that post that I made on
Yeah.
social media the day after the exam, right? I said it's the toughest Ableton Certified Trainer is the toughest exam I've taken in my life, including law school.
Yep. Because okay, I'm the first certified trainer. So when everyone came to me and asked me about the experience, I told them I got very bad panic attacks, anxiety attacks, want to give up halfway. The story is not that great compared to Ben. So I'm like, that's it. I told you guys, it's really
No, and
tough.
this guy, I mean, with at the age that you actually did it, I really take my hat
The
off
youngest,
to you that
right?
you were
The youngest
thank
one.
you.
that
I
you
was
had the
23.
courage or maybe the foolhardiness to go and try it, man. Then you did it. So good.
Thank you. I'm blessed.
Well, anyway, congratulations, you guys, and I think it's salute respect to you guys for being a certified Ableton trainer.
Thank you. You're too kind.
If any of you out there wants to be like them, send them a private message later. Maybe you, for a start, you can go through training with them first. They can train you guys up. And okay, so before I pass on the mic or the show to our Ableton trainers, and welcome again. If you just join us, do like and share, and get your other friends to come in. We're going to have a very nice session of Ableton live music production and insights to the new Ableton 11. All right, so I would actually pass it on. I'm going to sneak out here. All right, I don't want to get in the way, and I'll pass it to Ben and Syafiq, and
Thank you,
later
Ying.
Lawrence. All right.
Thank you very much. And we are really, really, really happy to be here, and a lot of support from City Music Singapore. So thanks again for having us here. And as Ableton Certified Trainers, our focus really is to provide education on Ableton Live. So we really want to share and how it's going to be useful for you in your music production, in your music performance. And when we saw Ableton Live 11 coming and we were exposed to all the different features in it, we were very excited because there are so many things that can really be used to enhance the way we produce music and perform music.
Yeah.
So we're just going to take a little while to go through some of these things. I'm going to go through some of the new instruments and devices and packs, and Shafiq's going to go through the new audio effects.
Some of the audio effects.
Yeah. You can't go through
You can't
all
go
of
through
them.
all, man. Yeah.
Talking of the other day that we were here, right, when we did the live stream, and there will be a link to the other show in the show notes later or in the comments. We had such a great time. We were here for 2 hours, but today it's not 2 hours, guys. Don't worry. We are only going to be here for an hour.
Yeah, shout out to Jace. He's the guy that helped us to troubleshoot and made all these beautiful layouts. that you're
Including
watching and listening.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
he's the guy
including
behind the
getting
screen.
Lawrence in from Indonesia, the good
Exactly.
stream. So want to welcome all the people from the Ableton User Group Singapore who are here. Glad to see you in the chat. And also to our friends from overseas, Claire Marie Lim, who is based in the US, Ed, who is based in Hong Kong. Guys, thanks for joining in. And we have a whole bunch. Maybe just help us scroll. We're just gonna give a shout out to all the people who came here.
Digit,
Logendran is
my student.
Logendran.
Hi,
Hi.
Logan.
Brandon. Hi. Rice. Hi. DJ Soy. Hi. Nasrul. Gerard. Hi. Okay. Amirul. Hi. Alvin. How do you join the Ableton User Group Singapore? Just go to our Facebook group and click request to join.
Yeah, Gerard just shared a link there. Thank you, Gerard.
Thank you, Gerard. This is the community we have.
Yeah, man.
This is good community, right? Don't need to wait on us. Hi, Elliot. Good to see you. Valerie's got a question. Wow, we started questions already. Do we
haven't
get Max
even
for
demo.
Life with the upgrade? If your version, you can always upgrade to the version with Max for Life. It is the suite that has Max for Life,
That's right.
the full version. And yes, Ananda, from the Dhaka Ableton User Group, as part of the Ableton Asia link, which is the joint between Singapore, KL, and
Dhaka.
Dhaka. We are happy to also welcome the Dhaka Ableton User Group to us.
Thank you
Ananda,
for joining.
Hi, Raven. Hi, Giles. Hey, Giles, good to see you. Raven is somewhere by 12 a.m.
Oh,
Raven, where are you?
There.
Where are you all coming from? Ed, of course, Hong Kong. Raven, where are you? Okay. I have to warn you, I get easily distracted. So I'm going to take you about 15 minutes to show you what a new features of Ableton Live can do for you. But along the way, if something happens in the chat, which is really interesting, I'm sure either Syafiq or I will say hi to you.
Yep.
Now, one of the things that we have is, let's share the screen that I have. We have new packs and new instruments and new devices. And to me, telling you that there's new stuff is one thing, but I want to show you how you can put together a piece of music with it. And so for this, let me clear this space up. I have actually gone into the thing called the Chop and Swing pack. This Chop and Swing pack is available in Live 10, but it's been updated for Live 11. So you find new things. So you find a demo song, you find more MIDI clips, like an accompaniment clips now. And I'm going to drag this accompaniment clip here because straight away there's notes and there's instrument. So you see the notes are all there. This is something in B minor. And already you see that, wow, there's something interesting, right? There is a new button called the scale button. The scale button allows me to see only the notes which are in scale. What scale? Here I've chosen in the bottom left corner B minor because we're in B minor. And this is going to be useful in a little while. So when I've got this loop running, it gives a nice sound. So can you all hear? Can you hear all the way from Chicago, Illinois, where Raven is? That's nice. You've got sets of chords there. Let's see what we can do with this piano, which they provided. And we look in the bottom left corner, you'll see there's an additional little icon which looks like a camera to take snapshots. How come? Well, you look at the 8 macro knobs here, and here I'm going to loop the music. As I click on randomize, I'm going to be able to actually randomize the position of these knobs. Ooh, I like that. It sounds like a lo-fi sound. Let me click new, and I've got one variation 1. Let's try another one. Ooh. This one not so. I'll do another one. These two washed out. I like this. I'm going to create another one. Okay, I've got 2 variations. Random again. 2 washed out. This is a nice swirly one. And if you click here on the device, you will see that now the instruments have a diagram to show you what is actually happening for the instrument, because this is actually an instrument which simulates the hammer and the tines and the fork of and the damper of a piano. So as we randomize, different settings will change. Nice bright one. I'm going to save this. So basically now I can just jump from any one of these. I want to do the more washed out sound. So immediately, yes, Nicholas, that is amazing. This is a very nice lo-fi-ish kind of sound. I'm going to now drop in from the same pack, which is the Chop and Swing pack. I'm going to drop in a drum clip. In the MIDI clips, the drums, I'll try a basic one. Let me go down to full Lotus. Okay, I like this. It's got an entire beat there, right? So I can actually I could actually edit the beat, change the beat if I wanted to. Okay. I can also do the same thing by putting on the snapshot button. I'm now going to do different snapshots. First, I'm going to save this original one because I like this original one. Then I'm going to randomize these settings. Now, these settings are also all controllable in your push. So right away, straight on my push with the 4 that I have, right? The 8 knobs that I have. Automatically, I can go to the first one and I'm going to be changing the filter. So with the push, I can actually play along this. I can play the drum kit, the sound of the drum kit. Let's randomize a bit more. Oh, this is a bit nice. Every time I like something, I just click new. Ooh, this is really lo-fi.
It's good for break, man.
Yeah. Ooh. What is that? And the nice thing about randomization is that you will end up with sounds that you would not normally get. Because, like this, would I naturally have looked for this sound? Yeah, as Ed calls it, instant inspiration. And DJ Soyside is a dedicated button for random, which is Lawrence.
That's a nice
I
one.
see what you did there. Yeah, Nicholas, instant lo-fi. Okay, let's get back to the original sound. I'm going to put in now a sound called the Lo-Fi FM EP. With this Lo-Fi FM EP, I'm now going to put in notes. I will take here, I'll insert a empty MIDI clip. So I've got an empty MIDI clip here. I want to add in notes, but how do I know the notes that I add in are going to work? Maybe I need to make sure they're all in the scale of B minor, since the original chord progression is in B minor. So what I do is I switch on scale, B. Let's take a melodic minor. And now, because this scale button is on, I will only ever click notes which are in D minor. Everything that I click from here on is in D minor. So okay. And if I want to make this sound more lo-fi-ish, again, I go back to this, Aldo. Oh, this is really echoey. It's really lo-fi. Everything is in D minor. If I want to go back to original sound, there are other packs. The other packs that are new are this one called the Mood Wheel. The Mood Wheel is sounds with moods. Very good for a soundtrack. I'm going to take this sound called the Copper Bells. And this one you can see they've already created a whole bunch of different variations. If I just play. So you can hear that really moody sound. Another pack that I really like is the voice box. And this one has actual voices in it. Let's bring in this voice called the Chromatic Voices Veronica. They're named after people. So again, I'm going to use the scale. Every note that I play, but one of the things about a voice is that you don't want it to be too regular. When you hear it and you hear that it's very flat, no human being sounds like that. So what you want to do is that you look at this velocity. You see the velocity here? And I can randomize it as well. Velocity is the intensity by which the note is hit. If I had used my fingers to hit it, and it will also affect how loud or soft. So now you see that it's all gone random. I'm going to do even further, which is I'm going to recreate one empty MIDI clip where I'm just going to have non-stop notes. But I'm going to make it random. What's the probability that these notes actually play? So it is random whether the note is going to be played or not. It creates a rhythm of its own. The last thing I want to share is a set of Max for Live devices. Max for Live is a programming language that's in Ableton Live that allows people to develop additional instruments, additional audio effects, additional everything. And in this series called the Inspired by Nature by Dylan Baston, there is this thing that he's got all kinds of interesting things. This one is built on a tree. That's a lo-fi beat just made in 15 minutes with all the with some of the new devices in Ableton Live 11. If you'd like to find out more, please do ask in the chat and do contact us also.
Ben,
Very
can
happy.
Ben, can you share those packs? Can you just give a shout out at the name of the packs?
So
Because it's really good, man.
the first pack that I showed was the updated Chop and Swing. The second one that I showed was the Mood Reel.
Mm.
The third one that I showed was the Voice Box, which is all about voices. And there's even one with vocal chops in it. So I haven't even gotten to the vocal chops, yeah, which is something that's very popular in pop and EDM right now. And finally, the inspired by Dylan Baston set of devices, which is audio effects, MIDI effects, instruments. Some of it, I mean, it's really, I think we're still exploring how it works.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Some of it is like spectral, don't know whatever, this move time shift, like going to space time. It's really like traveling into another dimension.
The only reason why Ben is saying that because there's too many good stuff, devices coming up in Live 11.
Yes. And oh yes, and Ying Long says amazing, can't wait to get his hands on 11. You're wondering how come these guys get a copy? Well, we're part of the beta testing.
Yeah.
So this is beta 23. And I also have to let you know that because it's beta, so if anything happens to our comm in the middle of this show, don't worry, betas are like that. And also if anything, if what you see in the final release of 11 might be slightly different. Maybe the one knob, right, instead of turning what is like 5 pixels to the left, don't come and complain, okay? Because beta is like that. Maybe they found that after the beta, if you move the knob like 3 pixels to the right, then it will be better. Yeah, so yeah, inspired by nature, you guys love it. Great, can't wait to upgrade. Great.
Shout out to Izzy Musa. He's coming straight from Malaysia.
Excellent.
Producer, music director, and producer for like artists like Yuna, keyboardist for like Bang Face or something. He's my hero, man.
All right.
Thank you for checking out this live
Thanks
stream.
for coming into our stream. Fantastic. Now, Brian, you want to know whether there's a way to smoothly transition between macro variations? Yes. Okay, let me show you just this quickly before I hand over to Syafiq. So here in the Lotus, let's take just the Lotus kit. So when I click on this variation, why did I wait until the thing was ending? Okay. And I can record it, by the way, I can record it. So let's record it. So you see what I'm doing? I'm clicking on the little buttons. And if we click the automation, we will see that all of this has been recorded. Every change has been recorded. So I can play it back. So I hope that answers your question, Brian.
Wow.
Over to
you, Ben.
Syafiq. Syafiq's going to really take us through some fascinating stuff. He's a great sound designer. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Ben. I'm really inspired. Like just watching the show, like 15 minutes, legit lo-fi there, using all the packs. I'm really amazed by all that new features there. So thanks again, Ben. That's amazing. I'm inspired also. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take over from Ben. I'm going to explain a couple of audio effects, new audio effects from Live 11. So the intention on how I'm going to demonstrate the devices. Basically, I'm a sound designer. What I love to do is I'm going to get random samples, any random found objects, loops, one shot, throw them in audio effects, and keep on messing around, be dirty with the audio effects, and then resample that, reuse that, and then so that's my workflow. And I'm gonna start now by showing what do I mean by exploring with all these different sounds, and then gonna reproduce with different mood, different texture, and then use it again in your music. The first audio effects or new device that I'm going to introduce is called hybrid reverb. So at home, I gathered few samples here. Some of them are like very basic drum loop like this. And let me off the hybrid reverb. I can even delete now. So it's really fair and easy to use drum loop for a reverb. So it's under reverb and resonance. As you can see, Live 11 put a different way to categorize their their devices here. So back then, when you open up audio effects, like everything's on there, but now they categorize it. It's really good for beginner because audio effects is really a very deep topic to talk about. But then Live helps us to categorize by what is EQing and filters. Audio effects so falls under dynamics, like compression, everything. So it's really good here. The layout is different in Live 11. So hybrid reverb, it's here. Okay, I will drag this out now into my drum track, and immediately I'm gonna just audition the different samples that I've gathered now. So take a look. Very old school 1969 drum here. The next one, half a bar loop. A rim shot or rim knock with a snare. Okay, so I think at the moment I want to use something like, okay, let's use the first one. Let me decide now. Okay, so let me explain to you what is hybrid reverb. Basically, they're using algorithm and convolution here, as you can see, and there's also only algorithm, and it blurs out the left side. So the left side is only the convolution reverb, and the right side is algorithm. And basically, what is convolution? They're just taking or emulates sounds in real life environment or spaces, or they could use this IR, stands for impulse responses. So for example, if you really love your mom's toilet reverb, you can capture that and then just drop that sample in, then we'll calculate and then use the reverb there from the toilet, something like that. So how do I use this for sound design purposes? Let me start with serial from left to right. So there's this knob here to control how much you want to send from convolution to the algorithm on the right side. It's pretty easy here. The yellow stands for convolution and the right side stands for the algorithm. So let me just play around with this. Right, and I can even change a different type of IR here. So I want to use like maybe real places. It's amazing there. And then if I go half, the blending from convolution to algorithm there. And let me put 100% dry wet, so you can only hear the reverb result. Okay. So how am I supposed to use this, right? I really love the pre-delay because there's a bit sync mode here, like this. You can hear that. I feel the pre-delay is really amazing, especially with the beat sync here, because it's like immediately you feel like someone is playing a syncopation together with you. It creates another pattern. Okay. Alright, let me just go a bit easier here. Alright, let me choose another form of Right, so now we have only blend, and it's really long decay there. You can adjust. Right now, let me use this. I'm gonna use the parallel. Mix both the reverb, and I can also choose a different algorithm mode here. So what I did here, I totally switched only to the algorithm side now, because the knob is totally off on the left side and it's now on the algorithm. 100% here. Let me off the delay. I love rhythm. Basic stuff, the number of the size, the decay, how long you want the reverb to sustain at the end. So frequency to adjust. Also mono compatibility for the low frequency. It's really good here because I'm using a drums with the multiple frequencies happening. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to freeze the reverb. Right, put it to 100% or refreeze them. Change the algorithm mode. Let's refreeze them. So instantly you can get this kind of stuff. So if I press this freeze in button, you still get incoming signal like this. So really intense there. Let me bring down or off the freeze. So how do I use this in my music? So for example, I want to drop both of the effects here, right? All right, let me get a change a different mode. Or I can use this button. Go with ESPs. Sorry, my bad. Let me increase the dry wet first. The pre-delay is my weapon. Go all the way wet. Right, and then just use this to do crazy sound effects. We do duck hole. Freeze it. Or I can even use the feedback. So another application would be this. Let me show a very quick way to route the signal, right? I'm using the dry and wet idea here. Okay, let me off the feedback here. Like that. And unfreeze it. Okay, I'm gonna open up a new audio track. And then for this new audio track, I'll get the audio from whatever signal that I just manipulate and then blend them together. So coming from the drums, right? So I'm gonna record arm this. And let's record whatever I did here. I'm gonna play this. Right. And stop. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna off this hybrid reverb from the drums and then let's blend them together. I can reduce the original signal. Or I can even add another hybrid reverb on top of that signal that I just recorded. And then mess around again. Maybe this time I want to go with the algorithm. Sorry, the convolution, my bad. So it's a whole different approach of how I use this kind of reverb. Okay, what if I'm going to use for non percussive sound? Let's say, let me delete this guy. Oh, it's okay, I shall leave it here. I have a synth, so I'm going to drop hybrid reverb on the synth. Let's play this. Right, this time I want to EQ them, but this time I want to use parallel again. Quickly toggle different parameters. I love the pre-delay, like I said. Feedback. Right. Mono in. Change the algorithm modes. Or I can again freeze it again. So it's always freezing, right? I can always do. Yeah, these are the things I love to use. So far, is there any question coming up?
Syafiq, that is amazing that you just two channels and the one audio effect. You have really gone deep into the new hybrid reverb, and that's not even touching the other audio effects, which
For example, okay, let me show you like again how to reuse this kind of signal into musical form. Let me again continue whatever I'm doing. I'm gonna record the signal coming from the synth. So now audio from the synth, put it back, record, right? So let me get the right sound that I want first. Put it back to okay, so let's say I wanna, this is too long, man. It's nice. I'm gonna record now, whatever I'm doing here. Oops. I better freeze button's on. So let me record now. And maybe I decided to freeze. Oh, sorry. This is here. The wrong track, my bad. Freezing now. 200%. I'm freezing it. So this is my trick. I'll open up simpler. Okay. Oh, actually, I wanna use this mono sequencer, my all-time favorite Max for Life plugin. This is not new, it's the old one. So just go to mono sequencer. I'm gonna type it up here, Max for Life, and then just drop onto the MIDI track. And it says drop instrumental sample here. Whatever I just did there, I'm just gonna drop inside the new track that I just opened up with the mono sequencer. And check this out. I will play together with the dry with this synth. Again, I'm gonna bypass the hybrid reverb like this, so it make it original. But this time, I want the sequencer to do the dirty work like this. I'm gonna randomize all velocity, octave. You can see that. So what it does here, will randomize a lot of random notes here, and even duration. Let me do some pitching here. And yep, as simple as that. Let me do some octave again. I just did a sequencer using a reverb. So
I love that, and I like Nicholas says, they're mind blown. I really like how you've really gone and now added a lot other things and made it into a musical application. So I think that's really, really, really powerful. The tools that are available for sound design and music creation, whether it's soundtrack or whether it's a game development kind of thing that you're going for, that deep atmospheric textures, really good.
yeah, I think I shall stop my hybrid reverb
Okay,
and let's invite Lawrence now.
we are so happy to have Lawrence with us. We've been, we've known him as a fellow Ableton certified trainer, but we've been following him on his socials. He has released a lot of very, very good music. And so we were really happy that he's going to be able to share how he created his new single, To Be Loved.
Yeah.
So that's on release. It's available on all major platforms. Link available in the show notes later and in the comments. And very happy that not only can he create the music, he can actually explain and show how he does it. Over to you, Lawrence.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? Thank you guys for having me here. So right now, we're just gonna take a look at some my song. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna listen to it, maybe up to the bridge section right around here, and then we're gonna stop and then we'll go through like some of the part where I actually apply Ableton Live 11 in here. But I'm not going to go into detail because Ben and Syafiq pretty much covered everything just now, so yeah. So we're just going to go through it real quick, but let's just take a listen to my track first. So let's just start here.
Have you ever feel the warmest tears? Have you ever missed a sincere smile? Don't you realize why we're here? Where it's always better to uncover. Don't you wanna be the light of the lights? Don't you wanna know and love to be loved? To be loved. To be loved. To be loved. To be loved. Do you read me? Giving all your fear, giving all you need, giving all the love that you need. Love, baby,
Okay, we're just gonna listen to it up to that part. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's just take a look before we get started. Though, I just want to talk a little bit about the background of this song. So the song is actually inspired by the genre of music that I was listening to when I grew up. So this is inspired by group like Depeche Mode, Erasure, Eurythmics, and basically all this great 80s. I wouldn't call it electronic, but I mean, those are the pop music back then, but they're like big inspiration for me, right? And then also another background story about this song is actually, I started this project in Ableton Live 10. Yes, and I'm working with a pretty old system. My workstation is actually 10 years old, so it's quite slow. So when I was working on this song, I was really struggling with the issue of CPU loads, right? So when Ableton Live 11 come up, I was like, there's this one feature that's might be simple. It's not anything that's like really mind blowing or whatsoever. But now, actually, Ableton Live 11, if you notice down here, they have a bunch of like all this thing right here, and that's basically CPU meter. That and if you're using like an old computer where like your system constantly hits like 80-90% right here, and then usually I'm always struggling with like, okay, which track is the one that's like bogged down my whole track, right? And then now with all these new CPU meter that you can see individually, you can see which track is actually kind of like bogged down your whole set, right? So if you notice right here, if you look at my track, this song is basically, you see a lot of them are actually already rendered into WAV. So that's the whole reason why, because when I was working with this, I can easily identify what part is actually bogged down my system. So when I see something that's like right here, it's like loading all the way up to like maybe like 3 or 4 LED or even 5 are on, that means that's the track that's like really weighing down on my system. So, and then what I did was I freeze them and then I just flattened them. And that's kind of like having like an old system kind of teach me to kind of like work really making commitment when working on the track, because if I don't make that commitment, I can't move on to the next part because my computer just simply can't handle it. And when I did that, and then I ended up making my workflow a lot faster. Yeah, and that's Live 11 really make it easier by having all this new CPU meter for each track. Yeah, so that's the first new feature that I find that's like really cool on Live 11. Of course, if you have like fast system, then you're not gonna really need this. But if you're like in an old system, this is really awesome and really helpful. And also, if you're performing live, this is a godsend because when you're performing live, the last thing you want to do is having your system choked up on stage, right? Because that would be like a complete nightmare scenario for everyone, including especially you guys. So that way you guys so having this meter completely like that way you can like keep an eye on like your system, and exactly if something goes wrong, exactly where the problem is, so you can troubleshoot it right away instead of having to look through your track one by one. So that's the first feature that I think is really awesome in this update. And then the next thing is, let's take a look at my drum right here. So my drum, if you look at my drum, it's really weird. Like when I let's take a look at the device. You see, like I'm actually muting all this track because what I did is I don't like processing my drums all in one drum rack. So what I did is actually, if you look at it down here, my drum, a lot of them are actually, I'm routing out my kick drum and snare and my toms into a different audio track and then pulling a signal separately from here. But this is nothing new in here. But I still have my drum rack in here. So let's take a look at my clip right here. Let's just go to this particular part right here. So if we're listening to this part, that would be right here. Hold on. Listen to it in this part. And then we're going to zoom in into this close hi-hats. And then let's bring this up. You start seeing all this blue, kind of like faded blue line right here. So what I did was, because once again, this music is inspired by the 80s, so it's all drum machine. The machine is like prevalent for the era. But I don't want to make it sound so like machine-like, right? I want it to sound a little bit more organic. It feels like more natural. And now the new feature in here allows me to set this velocity where, like, even though I draw all my notes in the same velocity, but and then I can actually just select this particular notes. And then I can just by clicking command, and then I can actually direct this. And what it does is actually it gives you like a little bit of a randomized value for this. So now I'm setting this for now. It's like anything value for the value between 80 to 100. So that means the velocity is not going to hit like in the same exact velocity all the time, which give you kind of like a machine gun effect, you know, like tat, 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 like that. Now it's kind of have like variety. And I think this is really great. I mean, of course, maybe somebody might argue, but like, well, we can use the what's it called, the groove template in there to make it sound more natural. True. But once again, you know, this is my music is inspired by the 80s. So it's really drum machine. It's really machine-like in that era. But at the same time, I want to give it like a bit of like organic feel to it. And this is a godsend. So this feature is a complete godsend because it just gives it a nicer feeling. Yeah, so that's another cool feature. And then while we're on this clip view, here's another thing that, and I think Ben already covered this too, but that's okay. So I'm one of those musicians. I would call myself a musician because I'm more like a producer. I'm really good at putting things together, but I'm not necessarily proficient at any particular music instruments. I mean, yes, I can play piano at home. Don't put me on stage as a piano because, oh God, you guys don't want to see that, you know? But even then, when I'm in the studio, actually a lot of times I wrote my songs mobile, you know. A lot of times I get inspiration when I'm like on the road. So I'm the kind of musician that would rather kind of like, I'm a lot more comfortable with drawing my notes instead of playing it, especially when on the road. I hate playing using like the keyboard from your MacBook, right? So I prefer to draw. And by having this new feature, scale, in here, which is my song is on A minor, which is usually just tips, you know, for all of you guys who's starting. Since my music theory is not the strongest part of me back then. So usually I just write my music either on A minor or C major, which is basically, it's a guarantee. It's always going to be the white keys. You know, that just makes your life easier, right? But so in here, what I did is like, I just put scale, turn it on, set my scale to A minor. And then when you do that right here, if you can see, you will see all these blue highlighted lanes. And those are basically all the notes that's available in that particular scale. And then when you click this fold scale, then like what Ben say, all you see is now you can actually draw any notes that you want in here, and it's always going to be on key. And this is like complete godsend for people that is like maybe feels like music theory is not their strongest thing. I'm not
For
saying
me, man.
yeah, but I'm not saying that you should not learn, because you definitely need to learn, because it will make your music career, your music journey better in the long run. Yeah. But this always, at least this will get you started without getting really, really frustrated. Because I mean, like, coming from me, that's what I experienced, you know, when I started. I came from a DJ background. I don't know my skills. I used to write music that the only thing that I know is like, at least I know when notes don't belong in a particular scale, I can tell. So I don't make that mistakes, but it doesn't mean that I'm like 100% always correct, of course. Yeah. So this is another cool feature in here, and then there are a bunch of other feature, but let's take a look at the next one. In this particular part is, let's take a look at my bridge section, because my bridge section is actually where most of the things that's going on with Life 11 is happening. Yeah, so this, let's take a listen to it real quick, just as a refresher.
Do you read me? Can you feel my eyes talking to you? Telling you I'm here. Killing all your fears. Giving all you need. Giving all the love that you need.
Okay, so that's the bridge section. So in this part, like I said, remember I was saying that like earlier, I started this project with Life 10, right? So so there are a lot of parts that I ended up just changing last minute, and since the song, basically the bulk of the song was already done, so I just ended up putting most of the new feature in this section. So let's take a look at track number 5 right here, which is my I have this Reese bass layer, which is just right here. If we take a look at it, basically it's just a simple wavetable with EQ. Yeah. So most likely, what's great about this wavetable in Live 11, now it supports MPE. So let's take a listen to this, and this is what I did with my bassline. Let's take a look at what I actually did with here. Oh yeah, for those that don't know, MPE actually stands for MIDI Polyphonic Expression. So what it does is actually, before, just a quick explanation. If you're playing MIDI, just a simple MIDI, you have a chord, and then you want to, let's say you want to pitch bend it. What it means is like it's going to pitch bend all 3 notes at once. With MIDI MPE, now you can actually pitch bend each note individually, and each note can have different expression value. So for example, let's take a look at this here. This sub-piece, call it that. Let's take a listen to it. Yeah. Okay. If you take a look at it right now, you see like there is like some kind of modulation in this Reese bass, but that modulation is not coming from automation, but instead that's coming from, if you take a look at the wavetable, there is MPE right here, and that modulation is actually coming for, let's take a look at this so you can see what's actually happening in here. So you see there's a modulation on the wavetable position, and also on the filter. Yeah, but that's not being controlled by any kind of automation that I did, but instead it was being controlled by pressure that I played on my push to when I was doing this bass. Something simple, but I think instead of doing an automation that just kind of like, once again, it feels robotic, and here it just feels more organic, because the pressure that I apply is just like that modulation, all this modulation, the movement that happens in this respace is coming from the pressure that I apply on my push too. Yeah, so this is actually one of the big new feature on Live 11, which is MPE. Because a lot of people has been asking for it, and if now you can actually take advantage of your MPE capable controller if you have one. One of them is the one that's like a super trendy at this moment is the Rolly controller, the Rolly Seaboard or Rolly Block. Yeah. Prior to that, most likely you only can use their own software, but now you can actually use Wavetable, and of course you can also use your favorite third-party synthesizer like Serum, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are actually using, and also Pigment is another one that supports it. I think there is a bunch of that. I'm sure it's going to be supporting MPE. So that's MPE in here. Of course, like I said, it's not really overly complicated because this is kind of like a last minute addition to my track. And then let's take a look. And this bridge is on my track number 18, which is, hold on, let me undo this solo. So right here. So I put this brass chord, right? So let's take a look at it right here. So if I open this track, there is this new effect from Live 11, which is called Spectral Resonator. Yeah. And let's take a listen to it without the Spectral Resonator. This is what it sounds like. Just sounds like that. And then let's turn it on. Okay, most likely you guys probably think, oh, it sounds kind of the same. It sounds a bit similar because I'm just doing like a really subtle thing in here, right? Because if you notice in here, my dry wet is set at about 50%, which means I have the dry signal, which is the original with the resonator in here at about 50%, and then the resonator is about 50%. But let's take a listen to it when I put it completely wet, and then we can slowly fade it, bringing in the dry signal. And then let's listen to it without. And with it. Okay, so essentially what I just did with the spectral resonator is quite simple. Spectral resonator is actually one of my favorite device because it's an audio effect, but it kind of works like an instrument, and the way it works is similar to how vocoder works. But the only difference is in vocoder you need the carrier signal. So what it means is like, let's say I'm singing, I need to have another synthesizer that play the same thing that I'm singing, or not if I want to completely change it. And then the vocoder will take the signal that comes from that synthesizer with the MIDI and everything. And here, what it does is actually, I only need a MIDI note. And this MIDI note is coming from the track underneath it, which is the brass chord right here. So if you're wondering why it sounds really similar, because now it's actually playing the same progression. So it's playing the same chord. But the difference that I did was actually, I set this into polyphonic because I want this to be coming from a chord. And then I set the transpose to be a fifth above, which is 7 semitone. So it gives you kind of like a fifth note in there. And then this whole part you can always play around with to your adjust it up to your taste. So I'm not gonna go deep into it. You guys should explore it later on. And then the only thing that it is adding like unison. So now I have two voices playing at the same time to give it like an additional width. So when I did that, it just and I only have that automated to be only on the bridge because the whole section on the bridge is like completely different. I just want it to be huge and big, and I was really inspired by like some worship music. I don't know why I brought that up in there, but I always thought like worship music, oh, they're really good at like making things sound grand and big, so I'm just going to incorporate it in here. So that's what I did. So that's why I make this just kind of like for that particular part, and this is really great because one of my favorite application to this is actually have a drum beat, do some MIDI, throw it in here, and you actually can create a path out of your drum beats, just route it out into a different thing, into a different audio track. And it's really, really cool. But I just didn't get a chance to do it on this particular song because, like I said, the song is basically done. Yeah. So Spectral Resonator, that's a great one that I like. Yeah. The new feature. And then let's take a look at my track number 22 right here. Hold on. Track number 22, which is it's a brass synth. The only thing that I did was like last minute, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to add this one part, this pitch loop 89, which is just a really cool delay. It creates a bit of delay glitchy. I don't really know what it is actually. If you guys are interested on what this is, you guys can click this question mark later on, and they have like, it'll open a link into a whole page article that explains where Robert Henke, who's the designer of Pitch Loop 89, was inspired from and everything. You know, if you're really into that kind of thing, then feel free to do it. When I thought it was interesting, I click open, and then I saw how long it takes for me to read it. And I said, you know what, forget it. I'm not gonna go there. At least that's for me. Yeah, but if you're interested, feel free, just click on that question mark. It'll take you there. But it's what I like about this is like, because it gives you like a really, really nice, interesting texture. So let's take a listen to this one particular part without this pitch loop, and then. So it's just a simple sound, right? I don't know where that feedback coming from, but yeah, it's probably. Oh, let's turn this on, and then I'm gonna see how this sounds. Yeah, with this. Okay, so if you listen to it with this gives like kind of like a glitchy thing on the background. If you listen to it on solo, it sounds kind of like really weird. Like, what does that do? But if you put it in a context,
Do you read me?
hold on.
Do you read me? Can you feel my eyes talking to you? Telling you I'm here. Killing all your fear. Giving all you
Right,
need. Giving all the love that you need.
So basically, it's like it's a subtle thing that's going on in the background, but it just adds things that's kind of like going on.
Yeah, as if it's like improvising with you, like having an ad lib on
Yeah,
top of
exactly.
your main motive.
Yeah, and instead of having like kind of like static thing, because I thought when I was doing this, and I saw what if you look at what actually the whole theme of like Ableton Live 11, I thought they're really big in like the whole randomization and like chance and probability and
You're
things like
right.
that. I think this is a great way to apply that into a song that's like structured. For the longest time, I always think that like Ableton is more like this is for techno, and like because it seems to be all the demo is like techno, right? That's what you see. But when I see this, I was kind of like, wow, that's just kind of give it like a more organic feel to it. So I just love how this thing does. Yeah. So that's the pitch loop 69. And then here's the last take that I think is great. It's actually the hybrid reverb. But Syafiq already spent like a whole 20 minutes on it on its own. So I'm not going to go deep into it. So it's just the same thing. Just the same thing. I'm just going on this bridge because once again, I just want to change the feeling, right? So I went with like I want to make everything sounds grand and big. So what I did was for this particular part, let's go into my drums right here. Yeah, right here. I have a drum bus right here, which is basically all my drums being grouped together. So I just create this like parallel effect of a reverb, and then and it's that effect is just on in the bridge section. I just want to make it sounds big and grand, so let's take a look at this.
Do you read me? Can you feel my eyes talking to you? Telling you I'm here. Killing all your
Let's listen to it up.
Giving all you need. Giving all the
Well, I mean, like I didn't do anything particular with this reverb other than just, you know what? I'm just gonna find the best preset that works for that particular purpose that I want, and this modulated cinematic space seems to work really well. So, so that's what I did with this part. And then another thing that I did was like, since this is a 80s inspired, so I went with the whole Phil Collins gated kind of like snare. So what I did is I have my snare. And then in here, let's take a look at the routing. And then I send this into my reverb track right here, which is right here, hybrid reverb. And then I set the pretty long decay for it. And then EQ the reverb. And then all I did was sidechain gate it to the snare again. So it sounds like this. Well, maybe I shouldn't be doing it on the bridge because that's running together with the reverb from the bridge. So let's take a look at it right here. So you notice I have that gated 80s gated sound, and I'm not the only thing I did was I just basically go with the algorithm reverb, and then go with the tights algorithm, and then just playing around with the setting, and then just gate it like that. And the key, just like what Shafiq was saying, you want to create like a gated 80 style gated reverb. The key is on the pre-delay. I set it at 116, so it almost feels like a slap delay, and that's if you want to create like authentic 80s gated reverb. So that's basically all the stuff in Live 11 that I incorporate in this particular track, guys. Thanks for
Thank you
listening.
so much, Lawrence. Great. Thank
Wow,
you.
thanks,
Wow.
Lawrence.
So this is a real life example of how Live 11 is being used in
Yep.
a recorded track which has already been released, and you can catch it. And already you've got a couple of questions which we'll be able to take in the last probably about few minutes before we wrap up. Because we don't want to outstay our welcome here, but thank you so much for, again, we got so enthusiastic that we overshot, but we've got great questions here, like something about a hi-hat. So DJ Soy says, just saw the audio files for your live hi-hats. How do you record the left-right channels at different intensities?
Oh, that one? That one is actually I didn't record it. That's coming from Easy Drummer, and I just flattened it. So yeah.
Okay, great.
But if I
Another-
guess if you want it to be on a different velocity, what we do is we actually record it with two different mic, and that's taking the room. So it's kind of like stereo, and then when you're panning it left and right, that's usually the trick that we do when we record it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lawrence. This question, the next question, I think goes to all of us. How to get Ableton Live 11 for free? Okay, very simple. Buy Ableton Live 10 now. Buy Ableton Live 10 now,
Yeah.
and you'll get Ableton Live 11 for free.
You're right.
And so you just get in contact with the good people from City Music. They've got great promotion on Ableton Live now, Ableton Live 10, and then you'll get Ableton Live 11 for free. And they've got great promotions on the Ableton Push. The Push 2, as Lawrence pointed out, has got MPE. That's amazing. That means if you press down 3 notes, but one of your fingers presses down more than the others,
pressure.
that note gets louder.
Yeah.
And you can press it down, and you can have vibrato on like one of the notes instead, or two of the notes instead of all 3. I think that's a really amazing thing for expressivity. It's going to open up a whole new way of performance and playing and especially as more MPE controllers come onto the market, right? So, and great promotions coming up on this as well. Nicholas Jalat bought too early. Buy another one. If you bought the Push, the Push 2, the upgrade is being done by firmware.
Yep.
So your Push 2, which you have now, is waitable. Anybody calling you?
That's my wife, guys.
Oh, okay. So
Checking on me whether I'm at work or not.
yeah, okay.
It's okay.
At least she didn't tell you to. You didn't take out the trash or something. Uh, it's a family show, guys. So
Yeah.
any other questions? And actually,
Yeah.
what's your, if you had to choose one or two favorite features of Live 11 right now, guys, what do you think would be your favorite feature? I mean, other than what you've shown today, what really stands out to you? I mean, some of it is like really practical things. Lawrence, what you showed with the CPU meter, I mean, that is one of those things that can drive you crazy if you don't have it,
Yeah.
right? Now that we have it, they suddenly, oh yeah, now I know which track is, especially when we have a lot of third-party plugins, we know which track is the one that's
Back then, you always have to mute every track and then check on the CPU like which one is taking a
Yeah.
toll. And like,
Yeah, exactly.
good
imagine
luck.
if you got 100 tracks, you have no idea which MIDI or which plugins that been
Yeah, exactly.
you know, taking all your CPU.
Yeah,
So
like
that's
with me, my
that's a good
favorite tool
example.
is basically anything that it's more like a workflow. Every for the workflow improvement. Like Nicholas here say comping. I think comping is great, and it's not just for comping vocal, but like I've experimented with like just dropping different breaks in each of the comping lane, and just like randomly just playing around, and you can create like really interesting, glitchy beats from that. So I think that's a very good creative tools.
For those who don't know what comping is, this is what comping. I'm going to share my screen, right? If you have comping on, then you will find that let's say I just loop this section. Let's see. I'm going to try and play some. I'm going to try anyhow play some EP. Let's see. And I'm going to play it wrong, right? So I'm going to have do multiple takes. Intentionally play it wrong. See my second run. My third run. So I actually have 3 times to try and play it until I get it right. And then now, okay, I think I managed to get the first part right for the third take. So I'm going to choose this much. Then I think my first run, the second part was okay. Then I'm going to choose this one. And then I think I choose this one. So combined, I think this is what it should sound like.
Anyone to check out the main track, it will show you all the different takes.
This is the main track, yeah.
Yeah, it's automatically been
Automatically selecting,
yeah.
And you can do this for recording vocal as well.
Yep.
So this is comping. Thanks, Nicholas, for reminding us about comping. How can we forget comping? And I think that as we have more of the Ableton User Group Singapore sessions, we are really going to invite more of you, the members, to be sharing what you like, what you've been doing, what you've been trying out. Because you don't just want to see Syafiq and me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's not because there's such a great community. We see, well, look at that. DJ Soy says, I like Spectral Resonator, makes you sound like a robot. I see Logendran says, I like the comping scale, linked track editing, and MPE.
Yep. Scale is my favorite because I can play the keys. Back then, true story, I can play the keys. Okay. Push 2 is only my main instrument because of the scale function. So I can make music confidently. But then now, like, without the controller, I can just draw all the notes and everything will be on scale. So finally.
Excellent. So
Yeah.
there's a lot for everybody. So we could stay on for another 3 or 4 hours, but then let's not do that. Thank you all for coming on. If you need to reach us, let's post our links inside the.
I think Jay's already put up all the links there.
Yeah, all the links are there.
Yeah,
I put out my link to if you want to my teaching links and my artist links inside the.
See, Ben prepared that while Lawrence is talking. See, well prepared. Nice. That's the way, man.
So go ahead and tap in your contacts. So must advertise lah. Yeah, and
Shameless
also
plug.
thanks to City Music, you guys really glad to be here, and we never look this good, you know, huh, right, Syafiq?
Yeah. I look really
So we got like
Can I do a real quick self promotion for my music?
yes, yes.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. Just check out. Don't forget to check out there are two artists of which is me in Spotify. There is one Lawrence Phillip, there is only one Lawrence Phillip in the whole Spotify, surprisingly.
I
and
like
then-
that, man.
Yeah, and then another one is random, but this particular random makes drum and bass. So if you find another random that's not drum and bass, that's not me. Okay, that's all.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Lawrence.
Check out his stuff. His
That's
new
on
drum and
Spotify.
bass. The new drum and bass track by Random is really good. Yeah, you got to check it out. Go and click on the links. So, that just leaves us to thank Yinglong. Thank you very much, Yinglong.
My oh my.
Oh,
I'm muted.
yeah.
All right. Well, my oh my, wow, what an insightful and powerful session of our Ableton trainer training. I mean, sharing how powerful this new Ableton 11 is. I'm actually very excited. Actually, I can't wait. I was actually just texting Sean from Ableton. When is it going to be released? So he doesn't want to. He
Shout out
just
to Sean.
blue tick me, and we just have to wait.
You know why? Because we can.
But it's very powerful. It's so clever. I think the AI inside makes a whole lot easier for music producers or even live DJs to basically making music, producing music, or performing music live to a new level. I think it's very exciting times. So I thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you for our special guests, Ben, Syafiq,
Pleasure.
Lawrence. Please follow them. Please, their handles are all in the chat group. So please follow them, and also do reach out to them because we want to learn how to use Ableton in more. I even just this session, I learned quite a lot of things, and I'm going to go back and just try and goof around and while waiting for 11 to come out. So a little bit of a preview of what's going to happen next week. We're going to continue our series of live streams because it's NAMM Show next week. So we're going to have a lot of new products. Our team, City Boys here, they will be actually sharing daily, for all the brands that we represent here, different products, different, like Quark, Fox, Zoom, and all the other brands that we represent. They'll be all waiting to release and showcase their new products. We had a first preview here with Ableton here, so that's, you guys had a good start. Next week, do follow us. So we have a lot more new products to share out. And also, I think we like to take this opportunity to thank all our viewers here, our fans here, and we like to share the great news again. We've been nominated top 100 NAMM dealer. I think that's means a lot to us. Thank you for you guys for supporting us and making this possible. Ableton, we're still running the Ableton promotion, 20% on the software. On the push to do check out the promotions. Visit our website, Singapore City Music. .com.sg in Malaysia, ckmusic.com.my. Any last words, our Ableton trainers?
I don't know. For me, just wait for live, and you guys better purchase live with City Music and claim that 20% off.
So we're really looking forward to getting back into the swing of Ableton User Group Singapore, and as well as with Dhaka and with KL. Shout out to you guys and all of friends who are joining us from Hong Kong, from the US, from
Malaysia.
Chicago, Malaysia, everywhere. Yeah, so glad to see you. Remember to like and subscribe. Click that notification bell, smash that bell, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
That was my line.
Oh.
Thank you, Ben. All right, so stay safe, everyone. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you, guys. Signing out. Bye-bye.